Let's all get some lobby snacks. Hi everyone, this is Jake from Lobby Snacks. This is the show where we talk about the latest releases, some of my favorite movies, and of course, some film news. And today we're talking about a movie I saw this weekend, Send Help. So grab your snacks like you're in a movie theater lobby, like we are right now, and let's just chill and talk about Send Help. This was my first return to the theater in 2026. My area got so much snow that I haven't been to the movies since November. I literally could not leave town, and my small town doesn't have a movie theater. That's how crazy it's been. I finally found a good weekend, and I said, I'm going to see Rachel McAdams, snow or shine. Send Help is the latest movie from Sam Raimi, which stars Dylan O'Brien and my wife, Rachel McAdams. Yes, many of you know this, but I married Rachel McAdams a short time ago. I've always been a big fan of her work, from About Time and The Notebook, Spotlight. I love her in everything. Game night, when she looks at the camera, like, I knew right then that I was falling in love with her. And just to know that she's from London, Ontario, which isn't too far from me, she has always been my celebrity crush. Which gets me to my first point of this movie. I knew I wanted to see this and that I was going to love it. This movie was literally made for me and me individually. I'm not gatekeeping this, by the way, but I want to go through my points. 1. This is a Sam Raimi film in the Big 26. I love Sam Raimi. I grew up with his Spider-Man films. I recently went through the Evil Dead movies, which I just thought were spectacular. I never laughed harder in my life at any piece of media than Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness.
Ramming speed!
And Drag Me to Hell, I just watched before I watched this movie, and although it wasn't exactly my cup of tea, I loved the zany antics inside that movie. So yeah, Sam Raimi, check. Dylan O'Brien, always was a fan of him, so check. Rachel McAdams, my literal wife, of course I'm gonna go see this movie, check. One of the major plot points in this movie is Rachel McAdams' character is a big fan of the show Survivor. I don't know if you've seen any of my videos on this channel before, but as I speak, I'm literally uploading a YouTube series of me forcing my friends to play Survivor. It is my favorite reality competition show of all time, maybe my favorite TV show of all time. I've been obsessed since I was 12. When Rachel said that she auditioned for Survivor in this movie, like, my mind just blown. How did Sam know? This Rachel McAdams Survivor, Sam Raimi? What? This movie was made for me. So that was really exciting. By the way, at the start of this movie, you see Linda, that's Rachel's character, her audition tape for Survivor.
I want to be the next survivor! I can do bushcraft with my eyes closed. I've been underestimated my whole life.
And, you know, I was thinking in the theater seat that I wonder what non-Survivor fans think of that moment. And I'm here to tell you, if you aren't a Survivor fan, that audition tape is unfortunately very real, because I've made audition tapes and they look so similar.
Hi, my name is Jacob Beeman, better known as Beeman to my friends. I'm 26 going on 27 years old. Some say you can really hear the accent in my voice, but I'm not so sure about that.
Hobbies, I go to different festivals, and today I'm at the Pirate Festival, which means I dress as my favorite Survivor contestant, Rupert. I broke my toe.
I was watching that scene like,
wait, is this fucking play about us?
Like, I didn't know whether to be offended when I saw what they had to say about Survivor fans like myself, the super fans, and all the CEOs laughing at me. I'm a Survivor fan. Look at, I'm wearing the buff right now. I'm a Survivor. Oi, oi, oi. You know what, Linda Little? You would be a shoo-in for casting. That's all I gotta say. So already, this movie has me completely sold. But how was the movie? Well, I'll get into a bit about the movie. So Survivor fan Linda Little is trying to move up in her company after the CEO passes. The CEO, tastefully cameoed by Bruce Campbell, loved Linda and loved her reports. But of course, when he passes away, he sends his son into the CEO position, who really wants nothing to do with Linda. And to an extent, can they blame him? Linda dresses very frumpy. She is very millennial awkward. She really nailed down that millennial girl that talks to herself kind of look. She has tuna salad on her lip, has noxious odors, as he says. They could try as hard as they want to make Rachel McAdams unattractive. I was sitting there in the movie theater seat going, I will marry you, Linda. But it set up a really good plot where, although Linda isn't appealing as heading up into the company, her work does stand for itself. So Dylan O'Brien's character Bradley says, okay, come with us to Thailand where you can maybe show me what you got on this business trip, where basically the boys are just wanting to play golf. There's a big disaster on the plane and it crashes. Some very funny Sam Raimi antics happen in this plane crash. And this is within 25 minutes of the movie. You don't have to wait to get to this part of the movie. Her and Bradley end up on a desert island. Very quickly, you realize that Bradley is injured. He can't move his leg. And Rachel McAdams, from all her years of watching Survivor and just being a nerd that has hyperfixations on survivalism, she very quickly provides and basically saves not only Bradley's life, but she starts to enjoy her life a little too much on this island. Without getting into spoilers, it kind of turns into misery. You have the injured guy and you have the woman who is, turns out to be a little crazy. This movie gets really bloody and a little gory, which is really fun. There's a scene that's been shown in the trailers where she goes and kills a boar, and that boar fight is so funny and so much blood, and it's something we've never seen Rachel McAdams do before. There is a moment in this movie where you think it's going in a certain direction, and then it totally flips on its head. And that's what really enacts Rachel McAdams' character, Linda, to do something that you don't expect at all. And I have to be honest, when I was sitting in the movie theater seat, I was thinking, I don't really like this direction Linda's going in. It's something that changes her. And at first, I didn't like it. But I told myself, just trust it, Jacob. You're watching a Sam Raimi movie starring Rachel McAdams in 2026. Go for the ride, and I'm sure glad I did. The direction they took it in, they went balls to the walls, and it made for some terrifying scenes, some hilarious scenes. There's a scene with a lot of vomit, which my whole theater was erupting in laughter. There was some really cool practical effects in the movie. There was some CGI, which was a little shoddy, but I honestly think that it added to the charm of Send Help. So overall, what did I think of Send Help? I absolutely adored and loved this movie. I knew going in it was a movie made for me, and when it finished, I said this was made for me. It's the perfect combination of Misery, Castaway, and Survivor. And I've been talking a lot about how Rachel McAdams is my favorite actress, my wife, all that stuff. But I really have to compliment Rachel and Dylan. Without this movie doesn't work. Both of them have a career high performance. You've never seen Rachel McAdams like this, and I always said that Mean Girls was her best role because she's totally transformed into Regina. You don't even know it's Rachel. She has a transformation in this movie itself, from her character at the start to the character at the end. And her character at the end, you start to wonder, was that really in her the whole time? I think it might have been. This is something totally unlike her, and she totally rocks it. If this film released more in November, I'd be talking about this for Oscar contender for her. She carries the entire movie on her back, of course with help from Dylan O'Brien, who plays the perfect douchebag dude bro CEO. He has a perfect laugh, and I felt bad for my theater because they really only erupted at the vomit scene. I was laughing through the whole movie, especially when he would laugh. It kills me. It kills me. Dylan O'Brien has the perfect cadence to his role. He knows exactly what he's doing. There's some parts where Linda goes a little off the deep end, and you actually do feel some sympathy for Bradley. You have Dylan O'Brien here that starred in the Maze Runner movies years and years ago. And recently, he's been really strategically choosing his projects, and this is the most impressed I've been from Dylan O'Brien. And it's been great even on the press tour. Him and Rachel have such chemistry throughout this whole experience. It honestly boosts him up as an actor that I'm really watching out for now in future projects. I think that Dylan O'Brien did a phenomenal job. As I mentioned before, this movie's directed by Sam Raimi, and his style is riddled all over the place in this movie. It is back to form from Sam, which I couldn't be more pleased about. His last effort, Multiverse of Madness, you can tell there's a lot of studio interference in there. He tried to get his style in there, but it seemed like it needed to be a movie that he wrote and directed, and he didn't actually write Send Help, but you can tell he had a lot more freedom, and he did what he needed to do on this movie. There was so many cool, gross out moments. There was lots of Sam Raimi blood. There was very cool editing choices made in this movie. And even though there was a lot of homages to his old stuff, there's one jump scare in particular that reminded me of The Evil Dead, and it made me jump out of my seat. There was also a lot of new stuff, and it's just cool to see a Sam Raimi fully matured in this new era of film, and I welcome it, and I can't wait for his next effort. Also, a brilliant score by Danny Elfman. I sense some Survivor in there, some survivalism, but also the dread of the situation. He did really well from the very start of the film. Linda was very meek and awkward, and complementing the score to that to where she is by the end of the film with the very scary strings playing all over the place. Danny Elfman's one of my favorite composers. It's just so cool. That's another reason this movie was made for me. Just such a great time at the movies. Please go see this in a theater. It is so much fun. A lot of people talk about the ending. Is it rushed or is it perfect? It might initially, in my opinion, seem a little jarring, and then the more I thought about it, the more I fell in love with the ending as well. I'm gonna get into brief spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled, here's the time code at the bottom. So I keep talking about there's a time where Linda's character switches, and it's actually a lot earlier in the film than I thought it'd be. About 45 minutes into them being on the desert island, Linda sees a boat that can save them. It was revealed the whole time that there was a mansion just sitting on the island that they could have contacted someone, and she chooses not to. As I said, when initially she avoided the boat, I was like, come on, you're on a desert island, you want to get off. Like, the first time she did it, I was like, okay, Bradley is being a bitch and hasn't learned his lesson yet, so she can avoid the boat. But then there's Bradley's fiance and a poor villager that finds Linda, and she basically ends up murdering them, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Little Linda that watches Survivor on Wednesday nights. What are you doing? This is a murder charge. And that's when I was a little skeptical, and then I just thought, this movie's awesome. Why not? Why not make Linda basically murder two people? She does feel sympathy, but in the end, she loves being on that island, and it just made the final fight between her and Bradley so much better. When he almost gorged her eye out, I was like squealing in laughter. Like, I know that's not for everybody, but it just the absurdity of the whole situation. And also, Bradley had a turn too, where Linda was really taking care of Bradley the entire time, and then out of nowhere, he built the raft with all of her advice, taking a woman's work and claiming it for himself and basically killing Linda. And then his raft breaks apart because he's a man. Which leads to the best scene in the movie, where you think that she is cutting off his stuff, and the emotional acting from Dylan O'Brien that's paralyzed is jaw-dropping. I was gripping my seat. This movie really has everything that you need for a fun day out. Some of the pacing is a little slow in the middle, but it's building up to those great moments. But that's it for spoilers. Overall, I gave this movie 4.5 stars. You can check out my letterbox right here. The username is RingoJake41. This was such a great time. It is something that I will be revisiting, and I know 2026 just started, but I really do think that this will remain as one of my favorite movies of the year. So I give Send Help a 4.5 out of 5 or a 9 out of 10. It was a great first trip back to the movie theaters. It was so much fun. I do have a nitpick though. It said on Linda's desk that it was October of 2026, and she got excited to turn on a new episode of Survivor, which was Survivor 47, which aired in September of 2024. I swear, I'm not like... I was like, as a Survivor fan, that's a little nitpick, but she could have been streaming it. Write something more accurate next time. At least she said Keyshawn was her favorite contestant. Make sure to like this video and subscribe for more Lobby Snacks. What did you think of the movie? Do you need Sent Help? Well, subscribe to BetterHelp. No, I'm just kidding. I don't do that. We will see you next time on the channel. My name is Jake. Thank you for food and friends.
Thank you for food and friends.
Thank you for food and friends.
And we'll see you in the next video.
We all ate some lobby snacks.